Hello, everybody.
What?
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here. Sir?
That's the first time I've seen a president form.
Happy Veterans Day from the ex-Al-Qaeda guy. Imagine being a veteran and watching the ex-leader of Al-Qaeda, and I mean this quite literally. Only a couple years ago, he had a $10 million bounty on his head from the U.S. government and was on the most wanted terrorist watch list.
We as men would die without complaining, without pleading, and safe in the feeling that we have done our best for what we believed was right.
What President Obama did shouldn't be amazing, but it is. And that is exactly how every single veteran we have here in the United States should be treated every single day, not just on Veterans Day. And I am the proud granddaughter of a veteran of World War II. And this, I know I'm very emotional, but thank you, President Obama, for doing this and recognizing their service.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Actually, we are going to see what happened when Obama... What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We are going to see how white people are reacting, saying like Obama, the former president of America, he's more good president and more caring president than Trump. So that's what we are going to cover in this video. This all happened on Veterans Day, where he showed up and congratulating them while the Trump was taking credit for himself, was disrespecting them. So let's dive in. The credit belongs to the owner of the videos. I'll be back with more commentary.
This is my president.
Everybody,
What?
as we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here. Sir?
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing.
Sometimes I feel like this country took this man for granted compared to what we have now. That man would never. That man did a whole speech and voiced it about himself and his administration and what he felt like was good for everybody. And this man is not even president anymore, and he still is doing the duties that some presidents have not done in years. Still honoring people, carrying yourself with dignity. Like, it makes me sad to think that that is the man that's representing us. It makes me sad. And it makes me miss him. Damn, I miss that man. I hate that man in office now.
Hey, just so we're clear, MAGA, your guy will never ever make people feel like this.
Hello, everybody.
What?
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here. Sir?
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that?
Never.
On Veterans Day, we're supposed to honor the brave men and women who put their lives on the line for this country, but Donald Trump simply can't do that. He just had to make this speech all about himself and, of course, spread a few lies while he's at it. Take a look at this.
Veterans, we have a 92% approval rating. We took that up from 38% from a certain previous administration that we won't mention.
A 92% approval rating. That's a lie so big you can see it from space. It's unbelievable. Donald Trump's not using Veterans Day to honor the veterans. He's using it to honor himself. His ego is out of control, but the crazy part is he expects people to believe this nonsense instead of reality, polls, and actual data. We're currently 295 days into Donald Trump's second term, and he has a 39% approval rating. That's, of course, nowhere near 92% like he's trying to claim, but over half of all Americans blame him directly for making their lives worse. The contrast here is crazy. today Barack Obama surprised a flight of veterans as they were entering D.C., shaking all of their hands and saluting them. He looked them in the eye and honored their service with genuine gratitude and respect. That is leadership. You can feel the difference here. One man uses veterans as a backdrop for his own ego. The other one shows up to shake their hands and salute them. One of them makes everything about himself. The other one knows it's not about him, it's about them and the country they protected.
Guys, imagine that you just been risking your life for your country, fighting out of your country, doing everything you can so you can fight and stand with your country. You left your family back, you left your friends, but you don't care. You just went ahead and you come back home, you find your own president or your former president, and he come and the president say, thank you for your work, we see what you did, we appreciate your family. That's what real president should do. We should agree on that. That's what real president should do. Even MAGA at this point, they should agree with this one. Not trying to make this speech, nonsense speech, disrespecting them. This is insane, guys. Let's watch.
It's Veterans Day, and what I'm about to tell you is absolutely disgusting. While America is supposed to be honoring all veterans who served, Donald Trump's government is erasing some of them. And yes, you guessed which ones. See, this week, the United States quietly removed a memorial in the Netherlands that honored the more than 1 million Black soldiers who fought in World War II. The display stood at the American Cemetery in Margraten, where 8,000 U.S. troops are buried, including 174 African Americans. Now, one of the panels told the truth, that Black soldiers didn't just fight the Nazis, they fought segregation in their own ranks. They built airfields, drove supply trucks, dug graves, and liberated Europe while still being denied equal rights at home. Now those panels are gone. No notice, no ceremony, just disappeared. The Trump administration's excuse? Routine rotation. But there's nothing routine about erasing history, especially the parts that make America uncomfortable, and especially the week leading up to Veterans Day. And it just happens to come after complaints from far-right groups like the Heritage Foundation, who say the military should stop dividing soldiers by race, even though those soldiers were treated differently. See, on Veteran Days of all days, this is how Trump chooses to honor service, by pretending some service didn't count. So remember this, the men who stormed beaches, flew planes, and built bridges for freedom all deserve to be remembered, because erasing their story doesn't make America prouder, it makes America smaller.
We've been in a clusterfuck of a nation and leader after leader who has either been incoherent, accused of having dementia, not been in his right mind for so long. I forget what a real human leader looks like.
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored.
It's Veterans Day, and we have two scenarios happening right now. We have President Barack Obama, which did the stately thing to do, which was greet veterans and surprise them on a flight. Then we have Donald Trump, who doesn't know the words to God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside. Tells the veterans that they should die without complaining.
Dear God, he said, we ask only this, that if we die, we must die, and we as men would die without complaining, without pleading.
And is just basically running this country into the ground. And I say this because since 2016, really, our nation has been one dumpster fire after another of not really having faith in a leader, not really believing in a leader, in his capacity to lead, in his coherency, whether he's mentally sound. And obviously Biden wasn't as bad as Trump, because Trump is ridiculous and is ushering in all the hate in the world. But under Biden, we still were like, do you know where you're at? Do you know what you're doing? And that was evident when he didn't let Kamala Harris run from jump and, did the whole presidential election. But seeing Obama greet these veterans and seeing how happy they were and seeing how he speaks to people, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of class, and seeing how We have Dementia Donnie in office, and seeing how he speaks about poor people, how he speaks about black people, how he speaks about anyone who isn't his billionaire friends, or the ladies with their faces too shot up with filler at Mar-a-Lago. It just sucks. It sucks not to be inspired by a leader. Not to say politicians actually ever really give a fuck about us in the way that I want it to be, but there's still something to be said about believing in someone. This is why Zohran Mamdani won the New York election. There's a certain aspect of believing in him and ushering in change, and believing that he'll fight for the people, and believing that he understands what it means to be an.
Yeah, guys, you can see what's happening. People are so happy to see him. You can see this old man, he stand up, he feel like he want to cry. You can see their face already forgetting what they've been through, because they do deserve this. They don't deserve the orange guy who is there making speech, trying to make everything about himself, trying to destroy like memorial of this the memorial he just like destroyed just like that, because they were black veteran who fought in World War II, I think, if I'm wrong, correct me, and he just destroyed that like that on this day, and he doesn't care. We can all see what he's doing, but the real president should do what Obama is doing right now. And you wonder why people love him. You wonder why people like don't respect you. You wonder why people boo you every chance they get. This is the reason, for sure. Guys, let's keep watching.
This is an unusual Veterans Day for a lot of reasons. The majority of people who ran the US military for decades are now veterans by way of forced retirement, as the Trump administration spent the last 10 months purging the armed forces of anyone who wasn't deemed sufficiently loyal to the president, regardless of their loyalty to the country.
Donald Trump, a man who, by the way, evaded the draft 5 times. 5 times he had the opportunity to serve during the war in Vietnam, and 5 times he came up with bogus reasons why he should not have to go, to include getting doctors to lie about having a bone spur.
Senator Duckworth is one of those thousands of veterans who have come out against Donald Trump as commander-in-chief. And so far, she's been right about the ways he's abused his office, both big and small. From politicizing what is supposed to be a non-political body.
Our military is one of those last institutions in America that maintains the respect and the admiration of the American people. The people who serve in our military choose to serve in order to defend the Constitution, to protect the United States of America. They did not join up in the military to go and patrol the streets of the city and do policing functions and to intimidate fellow Americans from living their lives. Really a misuse of our military. Our military needs to remain outside of politics. And yet you see a Secretary of Defense, you see a president who continue to use our military as little props in their political games. And to me, that is egregious, it's sickening, and it really disrespects the men and women who serve in uniform, who are far better than that.
To, like she said, having soldiers patrol the streets of US cities like they're occupied war zones. A stunt that's main accomplishments include intimidating civilians and hurting military families.
I served for 23 years. If I were activated to be fighting our nation's enemies overseas, or if I was activated to be helping Illinoisans recover from a flood on the Mississippi or a tornado in central Illinois, that's fine. I would be proud to be doing that. You know, if I'm going to be away from home at Christmas and Thanksgiving, I want it to be because I'm serving my country in a way that my community needs me. Not that I am being marched around our nation's cities to intimidate Americans or to try to prevent Americans from exercising their First Amendment rights.
So guys, I feel like the veterans make the most difficult decision. They just leave their home country. They just leave their family. They just choose to leave their kids. And they go to make America proud, to stand with their country, risking their life. Can you imagine that? That's the hardest job. They should be appreciated. They should treat them like God, because they're very, very important. They deserve like actually more, let's be honest. They deserve respect. They deserve the president who understands them, who value them. Can you get what I'm trying to mean? He didn't even bother to go and see them. He didn't even bother. He just want to change. Oh, they celebrate this day, we should do this. He's just talking like nonsense like everywhere. He can't even focus and do a nice speech and thank them for their work. He can't do that. Of course, at the end of the day, he will end up making it about himself. That's why in this video, I include many white people reacting on it. Because if there were more black people, it's because they love him. Even white people, they're opening their eyes. They're seeing the truth. They're seeing what kind of the president America deserves. American. Not someone who is selfish, who only think about themselves, who don't value work people do every day, who don't value people who put their life in danger for the country. So for all of you guys who voted for this person, you should be ashamed. You should change this. You should go out and vote right next time. Otherwise, whatever he's doing, you are part of it. That's true. And I really appreciate for the people who are changing for the better, who are voting against. I saw how Latino voted. I saw how people are changing. Keep doing that. So he can see he doesn't have a power. People have power. It's the people who voted for him to be there. You should remind him that. Because it seems like he doesn't remember that he worked for the people. People doesn't work for him. He worked for the people. So I feel like it's time for you guys to remind him that. Yeah, guys, I don't know what you think, but I have few comments here from the people. Let's hear what the people are saying. The first one goes like, wow, I go through watching this veteran deserve this kind of welcome always. I agree. The second one say, I'm happy this happened. I hope it's not for only one time. There is respect should be every day. The third one say like, this is the kind of president we deserve, we need in America, not the selfish person who only care about his ego and his rich friend. The fourth one say, great gesture by Obama. Now let's see more politics that help vets long term. The last one say, recognition is powerful. Let's turn into action for those who gave their service. Yeah, I really think like these people should be respected. So guys, I don't know what you think. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time as always. Bye.